That's right. It's the final Thunder breakdown before a game of the NBA season. I can't believe that we're finally here. It seems like, I don't know, forever ago that we were talking Summer League, that we were talking the preseason game in the city of Tulsa and all the lead up to this. And here we are. It's only June 22nd. My man Steve is laughing because he's been put about through the ringer by this point in the season typically. And I know that amongst everyone, he's excited for the game tonight. But it's also kind of bittersweet for you too, Steve, right? To see it finally culminate in a Game 7 of the NBA Finals tonight at Paycom. What's the scene like there right now?
It's pretty crazy, as you would imagine. I think there's a lot of nervous, tense Thunder fans. They think they can win at home, but they're not 100% certain. I'm certain they are going to win at home. I don't see them laying another dud like they did in game number 6. Indiana did what they had to do on their home floor. There are some Pacer fans here tonight, but not like there was a bunch of Thunder fans in that last game. We talked about that the last time we chatted. At least 500 fans. So, this is a big moment for both teams, and Oklahoma City has what Indiana wants, and that's that home court advantage in game number 7. But it's crazy to think this season started 8 months ago, really almost 9 months ago when you throw in late September Media Day, and then you got those preseason games, as you mentioned, Tulsa. And oh, by the way, the draft is Wednesday.
Crazy.
I hadn't even looked at that, but I know I'll be covering draft pressers on Wednesday night. And then you have Utah Summer League for the Thunder starting on July 5th. And then after that, they move down the road to Las Vegas. And so I'll be there for 1 or 2 games. And then I'll put a bow on this Thunder season.
Yeah, and I mean, even crazier today, like Kevin Durant gets traded. So the NBA is kind of stealing a little page from the NFL and college football right now, which is we're just going to be a part of the headlines for as long as we can and stretch this entire thing out. Well, so much more time to get to all of that coming up here. But do you get a sense in the building tonight? Obviously, fans maybe a little bit on edge, but again, home court advantage. But just is there a feeling of a certain energy inside the building tonight?
This will be the loudest this place has ever been. That first bucket is going to be deafening. Thunder, Game 7, Denver, they got the job done here. Game 5, Minnesota, they blew them out, got the job done. I foresee more of that. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I still project the Thunder to win by 10 or more points in this game. I'm still stunned at how poorly they played in Indianapolis. That was not Thunder basketball. Shea with 8 turnovers. I don't think he's going to have 8 turnovers tonight. If he does, it's going to be bad news for OKC. But I think this home court advantage means everything to any team that would be in this situation. I think it's going to be a big benefit. Isaiah Hartenstein said yesterday that kind of helps them on defense, to play harder on defense when that home court's behind them, to make a stop. And it's going to, every possession tonight, as you know, Jeremie, will be magnified if it's a close game. But I still think the Thunder are going to pull away in the fourth quarter.
I was going back through and I made a little note at Newsnight.com and NewsOn6.com, just everything that you needed to know for the history of Game 7. I was kind of shocked because a lot of these Game 7s have been incredibly close, Steve. As a matter of fact, you got to go back a way back to the Lakers and Pistons series to when a team even scored 100 points in a Game 7 of an NBA final. So typically these are close contests, and I would kind of expect that a little bit tonight, knowing that this is the final game of the season.
Well, Oklahoma City has pretty much defied and beaten the odds all season long. They could possibly be the second youngest team ever to win an NBA championship. Portland with Bill Walton did that back in 1977. But the odds, no one had them winning 68 games with Chet missing more than 25 games this year. So they don't really worry about the odds. They just, this is a special team. This is a special place. They have probably the loudest crowd in the NBA, especially for tonight. And I think that goes a long way. So that's why I don't think it's going to be a close game. I could be wrong, but I think the Thunder are going to get the job done, and they're going to really pull away. And be thankful this game is here and not in Indiana.
You brought up every possession will be magnified. The stat that I was a little bit surprised by over the last 4 games, there's been more turnovers for the Thunder than there have been assists. That has to change tonight. To see the advanced stats that Indiana's averaging 50 more passes a game than what Oklahoma City is, and the total number of passes through the season. If they want to win tonight, it feels like that has to trend back the other direction to get back into a version of the regular season and prior post-game version of the Thunder that we know.
There's a lot of people are saying that Rick Carlisle hasn't done the zone defense yet. Maybe he'll pull that out tonight, but I don't see the reason for him to do it. Just try to duplicate what you did in Game 6. They tried their best to get the ball out of Shea's hands. I guess, Shea probably saw that I was trying to dribble and do too much by myself. He's in triple team, losing the ball. And I think that really affected his shooting as well. And then obviously if their offense isn't working, their defense certainly is not working. So I expect Shea to be the leader of this team and figure out their defense. But if I'm Indiana, I'm trying to duplicate what you did in Game 6, play that defense until OKC figured it out. And they did not figure it out in game number 6. But now Mark's had 2 days to kind of see, here's their punch, and here's what we're going to counter with. And we'll see what Carlisle does. But Mark, he has a smart staff. He has smart players. Again, it comes back to this game is in Oklahoma and not in Indiana. That's why I feel comfortable about the Thunder winning this game. But Pacers are going to do everything they can. There's going to be some uncomfortable moments tonight where they may get out to a 10, 12-point lead. If T.J. McConnell and company get going, Pascal Siakam, Oklahoma City is yet to really have an answer for him in this series. But it's going to take T.J. and Mather and Nebhard. Those are the guys that are going to have to win this thing for Indiana. But they're going to try to pull one out here in Oklahoma City. But Wiggins, though, and Casey Wallace, Kenrich Williams, they're going to lean on those guys tonight to get the job done.
I think you bring up the best point. 2 days to kind of go over and get in the lab a little bit for the Thunder staff. Reminds me of the Dr. Dre lyric, I'm going to get in the lab with a pen and a pad, try to get this damn label off. I ain't having that. This is the millennium of aftermath, and it feels like the aftermath of Game 6 for that crew to kind of get in there, diagnose what happened. We've seen it when they've had multiple days to kind of go through and look at the different looks that Carlisle's thrown at them, and he's thrown a lot of different things at them. They've adjusted pretty well. So to me, that's probably the biggest point to me heading into the night is those couple of extra days to look at this thing.
Yeah, trust Mark Daigneault, and guaranteed him and his staff were looking at it on the flight back home to Oklahoma a couple of nights ago. So, again, it's just at this point, I'm still amazed that, what is left for teams to do? There's not much left to pull out of your back pocket for game plan-wise. But the only thing left, I guess, for Indiana is the zone defense. But the Thunder have seen the zone defense before. But I just think it comes down to, Thunder. They've always bounced back after a poor performance, and that was easily their worst performance in the playoffs so far this season. They didn't look good in Minnesota, but that second quarter, about midway through the second quarter, you could tell, I'm like, this isn't a good look. And then the start of the third quarter, neither team could score a bucket. So it's just it's been an unpredictable series, I think. It's been one good, one bad, one good, then a couple of good for the Thunder, then one really bad. That's why I think it's time for a good.
Yeah, I wrote 10 keys this morning, and my final key, Steve, was trust the identity that got them here. We've heard them mention that, almost ad nauseum every single time. And that's the reason why I wrote that one number 10. It's just you have to have faith and belief in everything that got you here and the system that has been put in place. And if you're going to preach it, you have to practice it. And this is the biggest moment for them to practice this in that you could ever ask for, right? We dream of scenarios like this of Game 7 when we're kids, shooting at the hoop in the driveway. We're like, all right, there's 3 seconds left. It's Game 7, and whether it's me, dreaming that it's hitting a hook shot or whatever it is, like this is the moment for them to be able to accomplish that.
Hopefully with 3 seconds to go in the game, it's not Halliburton taking that shot.
That's true. That is true.
I think the Thunder are going to show off that do what got you here, and defense is what's got them. They're going to suffocate the Pacers tonight. They're going to be relentless. They were embarrassed. Their defense was picked apart. by the Pacers. I think that we will see a different Thunder defense tonight. Extra effort, loose balls, rebounds. They're going to do everything they can. And Chet is doing a good game. He hasn't,
That's right.
had a great one offensively. Now he's gotten rebounds and some block shots, but his 3-point shooting, has he made a three yet?
Yeah, he's like 2 for 17, I think, in the series.
That's he can do better than that. He's a better shooter than that. So hopefully Chet knocks down a couple tonight and gets some confidence going. But Oklahoma City, they have the better starting five. They have the better roster. They have the home court advantage. Everything is leaning their way. They just got to take advantage of it. But we talked about this before we went on the air that, shame on social media, but they already leaked out the pictures of the celebration buses for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And, Rick Carlisle made reference to that in his pregame presser. So I'm sure he's going to tell his guys about that. So, but I would imagine they have some type of bus already designed up in Indiana.
Exactly. There's a bus barn somewhere where they're applying the wrap on a bus right now. Yep. You are...
And there is champagne in the Thunder locker room.
That's right.
Champagne in the Indiana locker room.
You're not doing your due diligence as a city, as safety organization, if you're not already on top of plans. So, like, everybody's planning on this, and the planning stages began before the finals even started, for crying out loud. You have to do this. You can't expect that many people downtown and want to provide for their safety in both situations, whether it's Indy or Oklahoma City. So, yeah, that's nice, and that's nice little bulletin board material for social media, but can we live in the real world? And I get it. Social media is not the real world a lot of the times, but I'll get off of my soapbox on that. All right, before we let you go, you brought up the Indiana defense. I'm intrigued because Oklahoma City got run out of the gym in one of those games against Minnesota. That's a little bit different, though. This is on the stage of the finals, and we'll find out. Does pride kick in a little bit here? Because they haven't necessarily had that happen to them on the biggest stage like that, where Indiana's defense just completely squeezed them out. Now you look at the defense overall metrics, and Indiana has a better defensive metric than what Oklahoma City does in this series. I think some of this is they got to be able to prove a point tonight, and a quick start, a good start tonight would go a long way.
Yeah, I think the second and third quarters are probably the most important for the Thunder. And, hopefully they knock down a couple of threes. The three-point ball has not been really their forte in this series with the Pacers. And so hopefully that changes tonight. It really would help if Dort knocked down 4 or 5 threes. Of course, we talked about Chet getting a couple would be nice. Shea, Dub as well. But the reason why I have faith in this team is, they blew the doors out of Minnesota in Game 5. They wanted to get this thing over with, move on to the NBA Finals. I think they're going to have that look tonight. I don't think the moment's going to be too big for them. Both will be a little nervous going in. I don't care what they say. It's just a big game. But, again, I'm going to lean back on, if this game was in Indiana, I wouldn't feel too good about a Thunder victory. But since it's at home, and since they have yet to lose 2 games in a row in the playoffs, and since they've always responded after a loss, whether it's good or bad, that's what I'm going to lean on. That's why I picked the Thunder to win this game.
All right, I'm gonna hold this up to the camera. I hope this works well. But someone that we both know, John Holcomb, was kind of stalking in the background and sent this photo. Let's see if it comes through. There's Steve right there. And the picture says behind the scenes of an NBA Finals podcast. So that's what we're working with right here. That's a live action shot of Steve as we're getting this one in here right before Game 7. Yeah, yes. You might want to watch out for that guy a little bit later. Steve, appreciate all your work, man. Let's get this one started tonight. It's going to be interesting. It'll be nerve-wracking, I think, for so many people, not only millions of people across the country, but I just think about 2 states kind of living on the edge of their seat with every shot and every ounce of momentum going back and forth away. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Game 7, there can be something magical that can happen, and we will see you after this one is through. And I cannot thank you enough for all of your great work of joining us here across the course of the postseason.
The Hoosiers have some national titles, so it's time for the state of Oklahoma, to get something.
That's right. That is right. Steve, thunder up, buddy. I appreciate you, and we'll see all of your great work on News 9 after the game is over. News on 6 as well. And for everyone for tuning in, thank you. Check out our Finals Hub. It's online right now, news9.com, newson6.com, and we'll see you with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Tune right back into YouTube and also on X via News 9, and we'll be here for you, taking you all the way through the halftime show and then post-game as well, where we could be talking about an NBA championship. Until then, we'll see you as soon as tip-off happens.
Thank you for watching this Oklahoma's own digital studio stream. Stay with News 9, online and on television, anytime for the latest news, weather, and sports.